What's up? This your boy Q. We have our second episode of our Sunday's watch list. Last week, if you tuned in, I went 100% on all 5 picks. Actually, on my options, on my trades, I made over $7,000 on my trades last week. So this week, I have 5 plays. I also have included 2 plays if you start in a small account that you can get into for under $30 a trade. So what we're going to look for is options this week, and we're looking for growth. So last week we had a big week in the market. So this week it may be a little choppy, but you have to be disciplined. I'm gonna give you all the techniques, all the tips. All you need to do is make sure you have Robinhood or Webull, and also make sure you have TradingView. This is a way for us to make our Sunday's watch list. So follow me, tap in, and let's take flight. What's up? We have our second ever Sunday's watch list. So if you remember last week's Sunday's watch list, I gave you a few tools to look at, and I broke down exactly why I like certain stocks for the certain week, and I'm gonna keep doing this every single week. So the first stock that I'm looking at is Facebook. So we're looking at Facebook. I'm on the hour chart. And basically, the first thing I see that Facebook is bouncing off of this 200-day moving average right here. And this 200-day moving average is almost like a trampoline. So if we're looking at it, it gave us a bounce previously, and it made a move from 264 to 276. That's over a $10 move within a day. So we're looking at this same sort of move. We want to pull out our trend line, take it down to the most bottom part of this candle right here, and just kind of have it touch amongst the rest of the candles. So we're looking at this trend line, and also, which another reason that I like this stock is also we see a gap. Usually gaps have to be respected, especially if it's a good company with good fundamentals and good technicals. This company will come back and fill this, in my opinion, just like we saw this gap down here in the history. It came back and got filled. So it dropped down to fill that gap at the bottom there. And now it's going to come bounce off of this 200-day moving average and fill this gap. So basically, I see this level of resistance that's coming, this formed for the most part. And I'm thinking if it breaks this level coming into Monday morning, I'll definitely will buy a stock. So the first thing I'm going to go ahead and place is right at $269. I will set an alert, and basically to set alert, you literally just right click and just add alert, and oops, all right. So we'll basically just add that alert to our watch list, so that way it'll alert us, send us a text message, it can send us an email, however way you want to be alerted, and it'll let you know that it's crossing this level. And then before time, the main thing you want to do and look and see which contract you want to buy and what is your budget, right? So I'm thinking at least it's going to make a run up to here at minimum. But I think it's going to continue to make a move past this, depending upon the volume that it may have for the week. So if you want to play it safe and want to know when you get out your stock, you can also set another alert right here. And if you want to play it safe, you don't know what's going on in the market while you're at work, you have these alerts knowing that when to get in, when to get out. And also you can set an alert for right about here if you buy your stock and then you want to get out at a certain level in case the stock doesn't go your way. All right. So this is just a couple tools that you can add while you breaking down your stocks, making your watch list. And then you can easily remove these alerts. Just hit remove. All right. So the second stock that we have this week is ticker symbol HAS, Hasbro. So toy company. So I also see this same similar bounce that's coming. I previously set an alert because I thought it was going to come down and touch or kiss this 200-day moving average, and move back up, but it has not. But it did cross our 26-day moving average, which is white bold line. So I think it may have to come back down possibly, but if not, I definitely see a level of resistance at this 95 level. So at this 95 level, this is where I will set my alert. I'll just move my alert right here, and I'll set my alert at this 95 level. If it breaks that 95 level, I can easily see another resistance at this 96. Hasbro is a pretty decent company for the option contracts. They're not real expensive, but whenever it makes a move for $1 or so, you can make a decent amount of money. So the first thing I'll be looking for Hasbro play is it for it to come down and touch this 200-day moving average. So that's why it's important to kind of pay attention to these charts, set these alerts. That way you know when your key points has been touched or been met, and that way you can enter and exit these trades. So these alerts is so beneficial when you're on TradingView. But the main thing I'm looking right here is a trend line starting down here at the bottom, bouncing back up. So it's pretty much going to create this trend as we've been seeing. And if we can cross back above this 20-day moving average, which is that white bold line that's coming across, if we can cross above that, we're going to make a strong uptrend above all the way up. Also, we'll go parabolic once we pass these white dots. So basically, we have a key section right here where we can go parabolic. We're crossing our 20-day moving average as well as our 100-day moving average that's up here, and we can make that move back up on a trend. The third stock that we have is Microsoft. So Microsoft has been up and down lately, but Microsoft kind of moves along with the market. But the main thing I want to see is that Microsoft has broken this 200-day moving average. Also, as we noticed with Facebook, there's a gap, and usually this gap kind of turns into like a vacuum. So when these gaps get filled, it kind of shoots up through it. So if it's going to fill it, it may shoot up through that gap, especially if it's during trading hours. So I notice it's starting forming a trend, same way we're going to look, create that trend line. We're going to touch it at the bottom points, and at times you can even break that bottom wick like that, touch it, and I can see this on a nice uptrend. I also would get time because look at this, we also have another gap that I think it didn't fully get filled. So if we can get up and get into that, we can get onto a nice uptrend back in the 240s. So this is something that I may get more than just a week on this play, because I think it got potential for it to continue to move up, especially when I look at the daily chart. The daily chart looks like it has potential because it kind of bounced off this 20-day moving average, and we're above the 10-day moving average right here where there's the yellow line. So it's kind of forming this uptrend on the daily. So we go back to the hour, we can see how it's forming this uptrend. So this is something that when I get into that, I'm going to give myself a little bit more time. Yes, it'll be expensive, but the Greeks will be better for me for the long run, for me to make more profit. So on this contract, I'll possibly give myself 2 weeks on at least. The next stock that we have is Ulta Beauty. So this company just had earnings, and as we can see, they met their earnings expectation, but I'm pretty sure it was maybe not enough guidance, may say. But this is a solid company. They also have plans to open stores inside of Target. So this will be something I'm looking into, and it's very volatile. So yes, I'll give myself some time on this as well, at least 2 weeks on it. And it has to break this 322 range for me. So I have to break this level of resistance for me to enter this trade. So I'm probably gonna bring this level of resistance up above the 200-day moving average, because I know this 200-day moving average is kind of hard to break. So it's gonna possibly bounce in and out. So that's why I have placed this alert for $326. So this is something where in the long run it's going to be a big play in the long run. So if you're going to spend a little extra money and you want to see this gap get filled, it got a great possibility of filling this gap on the way up. So this is something you want to pay attention to, Ulta Beauty, because you have a potential for it to move from 329 all the way to 343. So that's a nice run up that you can get into, especially if our moving averages cross and we get a bit above this 200, it's going to be a nice shoot up within a day or two to fill this gap. So remember, these gaps most of the time have to get filled if it's a respectable company, especially if it's in the range that it's been trading. So this is within the range that it has been trading. It's probably going to consolidate here for a few days and then make its way back up. The next company that I have, that's if you are having a small account, starting a small account, don't have much money to trade, or just kind of new at trading, this company right here can make you a little decent money without spending much money. I believe you get a contract for about $18 to $25 on this. So the main thing I see for Verizon, that I've seen that it has been dropping, but it also has a level of support that's down here at 55. So this is a level of support that I like, that I know that it can bounce off of this level of support and break back through. It kind of looks similar to that Ulta chart. So the main thing, you want to make sure it comes down here and bounce. So the level of resistance that I'm gonna have, that I see, will be right above this 200-day moving average, and it has potential to make a run in several points. So my points that I'm setting on my chart would be 56.27, and then if it breaks that level, I can see it coming up to 56.65. So this can if it can come down, I will want it to come down to this level of 55, and I'll just literally set my alert right here. And once it bounce off of this, I most likely will get into it. Also, another way that you can look at this, when you see a strong downtrend, if it breaks this downtrend, which I'm assuming is going to happen, it's going to come down here and bounce and break this trend, and that will be your entry point. So whenever it breaks this downtrend, you can just draw your line down, and it breaks this downtrend and it can bounce back up. And as soon as it breaks the downtrend, this can be your entry point to get into this trade. So just find you a few Verizon contracts. They're pretty cheap. They're not going to cost much, but it's also something that you can make a good amount of money. The Greeks are usually good on Verizon. The last company that I have, that's also for those of y'all that have a small account, is CocaCola. So CocaCola also is around this 200-day moving average area. It also has a gap from this previous week. So, and it also is creating a horizontal line. It is creating a level of support. And I believe this is a strong support. It has respected this level several times in the past. So this is something that where we know it's a strong support, and it's floating around this 200-day moving average. And we can see a strong volume for it to be bearish, but I'm thinking it's going to come down and consolidate and bounce back up, fill this gap, and make its way back up into the 51s to 52s. Their contracts is around $20 to $30 a piece, and they pretty decent on the Greek. So this move right here could make you possibly 60 to 70% on those contracts. So you buy a contract for about $30, possibly can get you a return of $20 per contract. Of $15 to $20 per contract. So this is something also, if you have a small account, this will be beneficial. So those is my stocks that's on my watch list for this week. I just know last week has been a very strong week. We had a lot of green days, so expect this week to kind of be up and down. It might be a day that may be red here and there, may be choppy. That's why you need to make sure you kind of pay attention to your charts, set your alerts, and know when to hop in, when to hop out. But my 5 stocks, 6 stocks that we have is Facebook, which is going to probably make a great move. We have Hasbro, Microsoft, Ulta, Verizon, and CocaCola. So follow me, tap in, and let's take flight.